Hey, how's it going? My name is Captain Nixon, and today I am going to be doing the tier list of Isaiah Rashad's albums. He only has 3 albums on the plate, but I figure since he's dropping another project in May, on the May 1st, then, I feel like I should probably talk about some of his music and also why he is such a very interesting person in hip hop. First off, I do not fuck with homophobia. I need to get that out the way in the first place. You know, a lot of people have given him slack because he might be bi or homosexual, who knows, whatever. But I fuck with the LGBTQ plus community, and unfortunately, his business was kind of just shared to the public for no flip flopping reason. So I kind of feel bad for it, and I just wanted to talk about it just for a little bit because I didn't want to make a full video on it because it's not necessarily something that I care about in that way. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter what sexual orientation you have, like, music is music. I'll listen to it, whatever. Today, I just wanted to talk about all his albums. Isaiah Rashad is a person that I started listening to in, I want to say 2016, 2017. Actually, no, even later than that, probably like 15. When he first got signed to TDE, I was really excited because, at this time, it was only 3 people on the label. And by the time SZA got on, that was the same time that Isaiah got on. So I was just like, all right, this is very interesting to see 2 new faces in this, somewhat new-ish label because during that time the juggernauts weren't really like they didn't have that much music out at that time, you know what I mean, and then they slowly trickled on and dropped more and more, and as a West Coast person I was all like, you know what, TDE, it don't matter who they sign, I'm listening to every single person. So Isaiah Rashad, he brung a very interesting energy into a lot of his music. I like how chilled, how relaxed, how lyrical and thought provoking most of his music is. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my spill. The first project that I'm gonna be talking about, and my least favorite, if I'm being completely honest, is probably The House is Burning. The House of Burden is one of those controversial projects for many different reasons. It's mostly because of the somewhat bad review that Anthony Fantano gave it.
This to me is reading as just being low effort, low energy, low substance, just very meh, humdrum, and drab. I'm feeling a light 5 on this one.
Saying that Isaiah Rashad was pretty much lackluster inside this project, which I do not disagree. There are a lot of songs on this album that I feel Isaiah kind of allows other people to kind of dictate the feeling and or the vibe on it. There's not a lot of songs where he is the solo act and he is also like controlling the song and making me want to go back to his specific verse. But despite me saying that, I think this album is overly disliked or like negatively reviewed a little too much in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of vibes in this bitch. Headshot is the leading single, which I really like. I also like the song with Doechii. I forget the name. I like a few other songs which I'll put on the screen somewhere over here. I like it, but it's just not as good as his other 2 projects. Is not on the same level as his other 2 projects, but this is a pretty good junior album if I had to judge it upon everybody else's projects. So again, it's pretty good. I give it a cool 6.5 to 7. I think 7 is actually a pretty decent score for this one. The next project that I have on this very illustrious list is going to be The Sun's Tirade. Sun's Tirade is the first project that I ever listened to from Isaiah Rashad. It is the one that most people probably know him from because he has most of his bigger songs on this project, but it's still like it still stands the test of time because it is so interesting. I think that the vibe, the very calmness of this project in particular is so interesting in my opinion. I really like how the instrumentals are hitting. I like the way that he's more laid back on this one, and he's not as aggressive as his other project, which I'm gonna get into in a little bit. I fuck with it. And it's also just like I guess I want to say a nostalgia bait because I just remember on really long road trips back from LA when I was dropping off my sister to college or whatever. I remember listening to Meal Ticket or not Meal Ticket, Free Lunch, freaking For the Squad, Rose Gold, all these songs on the way back and just being like, damn, this was cool. I was just over there and all that. Like it was really interesting to like hear those things and witness the culture and how people like really perceived a lot of his music during this time. And as a person who also kind of smoked a little bit, that motherfuckers was hitting. I ain't even gonna lie, that was a vibe right there. That was some high school high shit. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. I don't do that anymore though. I don't. But yeah, that is a solid album. I'll give that one, if I'm being completely honest. Outside of biasness, I think that is a good album. There's not a lot of skips. There's only like one, maybe two that I can think of. And the other songs are really decent and or just really great. So I'll say a 8 out of 10. That is a really good number. I don't even like doing number ratings, but like I enjoyed the project. And number one, the one that takes everything, the gold, the pieces of my heart, everything, is Sylvia Demo. Like, if you're a fan of Isaiah Rashad, you knew it was coming. You knew that this was this is it. This is the project that I would say you need to experience if you're a new Isaiah Rashad listener, because this project is just amazing. I think the subject matter is amazing. There's so many deep ass songs and it really makes you think a lot. And it's just, I don't know, I have such a special place for this project. This was also like one of those projects that I listened to, and I remember looking online and looking for like other music people who reacted to this album, and then seeing like Sean C for like the first time and watching him like be really excited about the project and all that, and it just made me like really hyped. Like I really loved the interest of that type of music at that time. You know what I mean? It was really interesting to see. It was interesting to witness and be witness of. So yes. Okay, now let me stop glazing. Let me start talking about the actual song. So we have Modest. Modest is one of my favorites. Heavenly Father is one of the most heart-wrenching songs that I've heard from Isaiah Rashad. It sounds like so much pain, but I love it so much because it's so relatable, and it's too relatable sometimes. West Savannah is another one of those vibey ass tracks. He also has another track, I think I want to say Ronnie Cole or Ronnie James or something like that. That's a vibey ass track. That's also a feature with SZA back when she wasn't like what she looked like now. But one of them ones, I ain't gonna lie, I really appreciate this project. And of course I'm forgetting a bunch of other songs like freaking R.I.P. Mac Miller or Miller or something like that. And there's so many. Banana, Soliloquy, I think, is another song. I don't know. There's so many songs on this one in particular that really just grinds my gears, that really touches my heart in like the perfect way, that like every single time when I re-listen to this project, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this nigga was cooking this in fucking, I don't know, when did this come out? 2015, something like that. But yeah, that is all that I have to say about Isaiah Rashad. He's a great artist. If you're not familiar with him already, you probably should be, because he's gonna be dropping an album on May 1st. And if you didn't know, May 1st is my birthday month, or not my day, but like my birthday month is in May, so like you should probably sub up if you haven't already. I'm just saying, like, ain't nobody gonna be smiling at you like this, you know what I mean, baby? Yeah, you didn't stay here. Alright. Peace.